But we will start in the high school ranks, and we will start with one of the biggest coaching changes we've seen in the last decade or so. That, our friend Matt Stepp was kind of hinting that he was hearing some stuff all day about the job at Barbers Hill. Barbers Hill, for those who don't know, down near the Houston area, near the Baytown area, and their coach, Ronnie Gage, had just retired. Ronnie Gage, of course, who won titles at Louisville, running with his outstanding running-based offense. And so we had, Matt Stepp was kind of teasing. He's like, this is what I've heard. I can't confirm it, and obviously we're going to wait until it gets confirmed by the schools to announce it, because you want to let the coaches have a chance to talk to their kids and all that fun stuff. And so yesterday around, 2 o'clock-ish?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Kind of trickled out on Twitter that Barbers Hill has made a hire. Barbers Hill.
Understatement
Barbers
of the offseason.
Barbers Hill has hired a guy to be their head coach and athletic director.
I think he's got a lot of promise.
I think he's a rising young star.
Rising young star in the coaching ranks.
In the coaching ranks.
Did the best with a difficult situation.
Barbers Hill went out and grabbed Allen coach Tom Westerberg.
Oh.
Of course, he just got done winning 3 straight titles at Allen. They came up short in the semifinals this year. They won 57 straight games. He is something like 140 wins in 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Just absurd numbers. Simply put, he's on the short list of most successful coaches in the state.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
I mean, the list of the list of guys that have won 3 straight titles, or 3 state titles, and the list of guys who have won 3 consecutive state titles is a class that does not take long to call roll. But he is one of them. And he is leaving the state's largest school in Allen, who reportedly turned in a cutoff number, an enrollment number of something like 7,000.
That's all.
He's leaving them to go to Barbers Hill. And I know what everyone is thinking, okay?
Oh, do you?
Why?
Do you know what I'm thinking right now?
Sadly, I do. Why would you leave Allen? Why would you leave what is perceived to be the plumbest gig in the state?
Money, 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 money.
I think that's something that people forget, is that I think people treat high school coaches in a lot of ways like they treat pro coaches. That, he's just going there because he wants to be there, or this is a better job than that. We have to remember that high school football coaches are humans. And humans, if you believe in economics, as I do, respond to incentives. And
challenges. New challenges.
Barbers Hill, I'll get to that in a moment. Barbers Hill is reportedly one of the highest paying jobs in the state.
As an AD head coach.
So Tom Westerberg, say what you want about, why would you leave Allen? Well, I mean, there's an old saying that money talks and BS walks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you were to go and take another job, whatever you do for a living, you would look at the salary.
Absolutely.
That would be a big key to why you would leave. That
right.
if somebody were to come to me and say, hey, do you want this job over here? My first question would be, how much does it pay? You know what I mean? Also, can I bring my Dave Campbell bobblehead? Put it on my desk. So I think that's something that people, is Barbers Hill more quote unquote prestigious than Allen? No, it's not. They went 4-6 this year. They don't have a pedigree like Allen. They don't have the numbers that Allen does.
Right.
But the bottom line is that money talks.
Yeah. And
that's going to be a big part of the decision. Now, I don't know Tom Westerberg's heart. We're hoping to get him on the show here in the next couple of days. But ultimately, this is, you have to follow the money, and Barbers Hill is reportedly one of the highest paying jobs in the state.
I also think, before you move on, I also think Matt Stepp made a great point. What else was he supposed to do at Allen?
I'm really glad you brought that up. So that's another thing about this. And I tweeted this yesterday. First of all, you also cannot understate the idea of being the AD. Okay, and I know that seems like a really little minor thing to just say, oh, he's going to be the athletic director too. That means you're kind of your own boss.
Pretty awesome.
You get to make your own hires. You get to be the guy in charge. And at Allen, where there are a lot of, let's say, cooks in the kitchen, you are now moving to a situation where you are the only cook in the kitchen. Yeah, you have a superintendent, and you got to pay attention to him.
Right.
But you are your own boss, and that's something. It's a lot easier to understand that when you factor in the fact that he's going to be his own boss as the athletic director.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the other thing. Okay. So he won 3 straight titles. He won 3 straight titles at Allen.
4 overall.
Right? Yes. 4 overall. And there is the idea of the Alexander the Great quote, right? When Alexander saw the breadth of his domain, he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer.
Right.
And if you're Tom Westerberg, haven't you already conquered everything? Haven't you done everything that you can do? 57 straight wins puts you in elite company. 4 titles, 3 consecutive titles, puts you in elite company.
Yeah.
There were no more windmills to fight. There were no more worlds to conquer at Allen. And so I think that he's always struck me, and again, I don't know his heart. We're hoping to have him on the show here soon. But I also know that he's always struck me as a guy who's not afraid of a challenge.
Yes.
And here is a challenge to take over a Barbers Hill program that is in a tough part of the state. By the way, great uniforms. Look up their uniforms.
Ooh, okay. All right.
They is in a tough part of the state. They're in the Crosby C.E. King district. Okay, Dayton, all of them down there. For now, I mean, realignment's coming along, but that's a heavy-hitting part of the state. This is aren't they great with the stripes?
The stripes are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. I think that there is something to be said for Tom Westerberg wanting another challenge. Now, tomorrow we'll get into who could be a nice candidate for the Allen job, because the Allen job's still a great job. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
You can win big time.
And I think the candidates are obvious, and I don't think that they will deviate from a small group that I think we all have in mind.
No. But
if history's any indication.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow, but this is it was an earth-shattering move, because here is a guy who at the state's large, at a legit powerhouse, anytime a current powerhouse coach leaves, that's a big deal. When Jeff Traylor left Gilmer last year to go to Texas, that was a big deal. When Mike Jinks a couple of years ago left Cibolo Steel to go to Tech, now he's at Bowling Green. We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. That was a big deal. Whenever a current powerhouse coach leaves a powerhouse, it's big news. It was big news yesterday.